Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hot or Cold. I am the wrestling guy joined by the chairman of the board, and today we are doing a Hot or Cold episode on some of the wrestling news that's happened this week on Raw, NXT and Smackdown, as well as a couple of general things that have happened in the wrestling world. So if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and let us know down below in the comments some more hot or cold topics you'd like us to cover, and we'll try our best to accommodate that, and hope you guys enjoy this series as much as we do. So, welcome Stu, thank you for joining us again.
You're very welcome.
And let's kick things off with Raw, shall we?
Yeah.
So the first topic we want to cover is Bobby Lashley dissolving the Hurt Business. Are we hot or are we cold on that?
Okay. I'm cold on this one. I'm actually quite upset about the fact that they've destroyed the Hurt Business. I think the Hurt Business was probably the best thing that they had going on Raw for quite a while. Probably with the exception of Drew McIntyre's title reign, because I think he had a really good title reign. But I was really enjoying the Hurt Business. I think there was room for factions. I think AEW is kind of taking factions to the extreme at the moment. But I quite like having the odd little faction. I enjoyed things like Evolution, Undisputed Era, Legacy, the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great factions in there. And I think that the Hurt Business were doing a great job. I think they were really up there. It was really helping to push the careers of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
I think they both really needed it. They were both kind of in sort of lounging around near the bottom of the pack at the time. Bobby Lashley, kind of great wrestling in the ring. Mike Skill's not so good, which is why they've obviously brought in MVP, which obviously helps him. But I think together as a unit, it all worked well together. I would have liked to have seen them carrying all the gold as well. I would have liked to have seen them keep the tag titles. And then have Lashley with the main belt as well. So I think that would have looked great. So yeah, I'm disappointed in this one. I think from what I've heard on the gossip mill, the idea is kind of that they're looking at the fact that if they go into WrestleMania with a live crowd, people are liking the Hurt Business and they're worried that people will cheer Bobby Lashley when he comes out. So which is part of the reason why they've dissolved the faction. I think is also part of the reason why at the end of the night they brought in Baron Corbin as well and put him with Bobby Lashley, because people boo Corbin and they know they're going to get that reaction with Corbin anyway. So I think that's why they've done that as well. So I can understand the reasons behind it, but personally, no, I'm cold on this one. I really liked the Hurt Business. I would have liked to have seen them do more. Yeah,
I'm going to agree. I'm pretty cold on this one as well. I think, like you say, the Hurt Business was great for Raw, and it was one of those factions where you kind of you had to warm to them, and then you were like, actually, this is really good. Because like you say, you haven't got your typical big guys now. You've got Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander. At the lower card, you kind of think they're going to be on the dump pile. And then you bring them in, you think, actually, this is actually working.
Yeah.
Like you say, you incorporate MVP in. Obviously, Lashley just winning the WWE title. It would have looked great to have seen them all had the belts. But
yeah, I think you had everything in there. I think you had the power of Lashley, you had the mic skills of MVP, you had the athleticism and the skills of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. To me, it made a great team, made a great unit, and to see them break them up this early on is a real shame. 'Cause I think they could have gone down as being one of the great factions of the of this era.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like I say, cold on this one to start. Okay, the next one is a bit of a fun one.
Okay,
The Miz and Morrison presents Hey Hey Hop Hop. Obviously to do with Miz's match with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, and obviously the Easter theme we've got going on probably as well. So how are you feeling about this one?
Now, I love The Miz.
Yeah.
I love The Miz. I put him back with John Morrison. Fantastic. Love all that. I love all that stuff. I'm actually quite hot on this. I've got to be honest. Part of it's because it is that little bit of fun, and sometimes we just need that little bit of fun in with our wrestling. We can't take it all so seriously. Sometimes it is good to have a bit of a laugh with it. If this is something that they're looking to continue with other rivalries, that every time Miz and Morrison end up clashing with somebody, they bring out another tune to go with it, then I'm up for that. I'm up for that. So to be honest, it is a good bit of fun. Okay, admittedly, the song, I don't think the song's is as good as the last one, as the Hey Hey Ho Ho. I really liked Hey Hey Ho Ho. This one, yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's a good laugh. But I really like it. It's just it's daft. It's a bit silly, and it's like I said before on the previous video. When it comes to The Miz, he's happy to do whatever he needs to do to get the company over, to get himself over, and to get his opponents over. So fair play to Miz and Morrison as well. I really like him, Morrison. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm hot on this. I can go with it.
Yeah, I'm hot on it as well. I think, like you say, it's good to have a bit of a joke now and then in wrestling. There's a lot of fans that take it far too seriously. Yeah. So to have a little bit of joking around is really, really good to see. And like you say, Miz and Morrison are a great tag team, and if they do this with all their rivalries, it could be a bit of a laugh. And
I think there's some good fun in there. I think there's some great potential in there. And it's another avenue for WWE to go down as well. We're into music, so yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So both hot on this one. This is a good one. Next one, Riddle versus Sheamus at WrestleMania for the United States title.
Yeah, because this has been added in since we did our other video, wasn't it? So yeah.
So how are you feeling on this one?
I'm hot for that. I'm hot for that. I like Sheamus. I like Riddle. Yeah. I think this is a great clash of styles. They're both hard hitters. Riddle with his kicks, Sheamus with the bro kick and some of his big power moves that he does. I think this has got the potential to be a really, really good match. Obviously for the title as well, so putting another belt on, which is what you should have at WrestleMania. The title should all go on the line, I think, at WrestleMania. So definitely. I like that as well. So yeah, I'm hot with this. I'm really pleased to see this one's been added in. As far as a prediction would go, very 50-50 on this one. I think at the moment they've been really doing some good stuff with Sheamus. His matches with Drew were great. God, two guys really hitting on each other as well. And you see the marks they had left on them afterwards. Brilliant. So Riddle, I enjoy Riddle's work. I wish they'd call him Matt Riddle again, though. I just don't like calling him just Riddle. It makes him sound like a Batman villain, and it's not great. So I think if I was going to pick one, I'm going to say Sheamus. I'm going to go for a title change on this one and say Sheamus.
Yeah, I'm pretty hot on this one as well. I'm a big fan of Riddle. Really, really happy that he's got the title now. One of my worries was they were going to bring him up from NXT and then sort of not do anything with him.
Oh, like they've never done that before.
Yeah. So to see him win the belt, I know obviously there was that speculation of the fact that Keith Lee was meant to win the belt and then he got injured and everything else, or whatever, COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to see Riddle with the belt. I think it's a good move for his career. Not liking the stuff he's doing with his scooter at the moment. It's a little bit odd, but there we go. It's part of Riddle's character.
A little bit of comedy again, that little bit into his character.
Yeah, and Sheamus, obviously, since he came back, it's been great. Just a really, really good character again. Did some brilliant work, like you say, with Drew, and I think he's going to be a really, really good match for WrestleMania. In terms of a prediction, could go either way. Depends what they are planning to do, but I'm going to agree with you and say Sheamus for a title change on this one. Yeah. I think it'd be good.
I could see a title change, but then also if Keith Lee is due to come back, and there's speculation that he is due to come back soon, I could see a Sheamus and Keith Lee rivalry, which would be
good.
That would be good.
That would
Two
be
big
good.
Guys clashing again. Oh yes, I like that.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So both hot on this one.
Yeah.
And the final one I've got for Raw, I know we've touched on this already. Corbin coming in to help Bobby Lashley.
Now, I actually like this. I'm actually happy with this. I'm hot for this one because, as I said before, people boo Corbin. People don't like Corbin. I like Corbin because he's doing what he needs to do to make you hate him. Yeah. And to me, that's a sign of a good worker. Like, he is getting that reaction. He knows he's going to get booed. So he's not playing the crowd. He's not trying to get you to chill. Yeah. He's trying to get you to boo him. And he does it. And people hate him. And people tweet and message and Instagram or whatever to say how much they dislike the guy. And you think, he's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be hated. And he's doing a great job of it. Bringing him in with Bobby Lashley, then yeah, that's fine. If they want to try and get that booing reaction at WrestleMania when Bobby Lashley comes out, put him with the guy that everybody's booing. Put him with Corbin. It's a bit rushed, in all honesty, though. I mean, to do it like 2 weeks before WrestleMania it's very rushed. But they've obviously seen that there's going to be an issue there. They're trying to make a solution. Again, I'm not happy about the fact that they've split up the Hurt Business. But if you're going to put Corbin in to get the right reaction, then so be it. So yeah, I'm hot for that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a good move if they're looking for that boo reaction at WrestleMania. But like you say, I think it's far too rushed. I mean, normally with these WrestleMania storylines, you have weeks in advance of build-up and things like that happening. To throw it in 2 weeks before WrestleMania is a little bit like...
I think the biggest problem they have is the fact that they have Fastlane.
Yeah.
They would be better to do the Royal Rumble, do the Elimination Chamber, and then give yourself a good 6 to 8 weeks of solid storytelling, some good build-up. Make your decisions as to what you're going to do, and build it up to WrestleMania. At the moment, it just feels like we've just literally just come out of Fastlane, and it's like, oh my god, we've only got a couple of weeks before WrestleMania. What are we going to do? Panic, and it just feels like things are just getting getting rushed out too quick.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think you need that storytelling. I miss the days of old when we used to have just 4 pay-per-views. You just have the Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and you had 3 months of storytelling in between each one, and that worked because you could build up those rivalries, you could build up those storylines. And I think at the moment that's what wrestling misses. It's the fact that we've got 12, 13 pay-per-views a year. We're getting pretty much one a month, and to me sometimes that's a bit too much. I would narrow it down to about 8 pay-per-views a year. Give yourself a good 6 or 7 week gap between each one, and give yourself some time to build up some stories. I mean, that's what Raw and SmackDown should be doing. They should be building up storytelling so that by the time you get to pay-per-views, you're hungry for it. You want to buy that. You want to buy into that pay-per-view. A lot of it is because of the fact they have the network now, so that people don't have to go out and buy a pay-per-view. So people don't spend that 10, 15, 20 pound or whatever to buy a pay-per-view show, because you're getting it all on the network. So they don't have to build up that excitement for you to actually say, oh, I've got to spend that 15, 20 pound to go and actually watch that show. So yeah, but yeah, I just think we're a little bit oversaturated with pay-per-views at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me personally, take out Fastlane and just do a nice build-up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it, I think. So overall, I think Raw was pretty hot this week. There was some good moments in there.
Yeah,
good.
not a great. I've sat and watched through it, and to be honest, it's not a great show because everything feels so rushed.
Yeah.
But what they are doing, there's some interesting stuff coming up. So, but not a great show, to be honest.
So NXT was obviously quite interesting this week, building up to obviously Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Just a couple of points we picked out. Firstly, the Battle Royal to determine who enters last in the Gauntlet match. LA Knight, how are you feeling about that?
Okay, I'm hot for this. I love LA Knight. Loved him as Eli Drake. Big fan of Eli Drake when he was over in Impact. Even like the stuff that he did with the NWA. So yeah, I'm very, very hot for this one. I like LA Knight. I think he's got great charisma. His mic work is awesome. Some great moves in his arsenal as well. This guy could be a potential star of the future. I mean, he's got the tools there to do it. Whether they see that in him, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm a big fan of LA Knight. Saying that though, I am also a big fan of Dexter Lumis. Loving Dexter Lumis. The work that he's doing is amazing at the moment. He's got that look. He's got that character. I like a good character. I like somebody who's got a bit of backstory. And I think that's what NXT seem to do really well at the moment. They have characters, they have backstories, they have something about them. It's not just about, oh, I don't like you, so I'm going to fight you. They've got something. The storytelling is really good at the moment. So, but yeah, LA Knight, I'm hot for. Quite interested to see what they're going to do with LA Knight at Stand and Deliver. We will see how it all goes. But yeah, to be honest, I really enjoyed it as well. I quite like a good battle royal every now and again. So nothing wrong with throwing in a good battle royal.
Yeah, battle royal, as I mentioned, was really good, and obviously LA Knight's a great character. And looking forward to seeing what they do at Fastlane. I think it'll be really good. Stand Deliver, sorry, not Fastlane. Next one, Santos Escobar defeating Tyler Breeze, obviously ahead of his match with Jordan Devlin
Yeah.
at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Hot or cold on this
I
one?
enjoyed that. Did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for that. I love Santos Escobar. I love Legado del Fantasma. I think that's another great little faction that they got
Yeah,
going on.
definitely.
So yeah, really, really enjoy that. Yeah, good match. Got some great moves in there. I like Tyler Breeze as well. Tyler Breeze is one of those guys that they really could have pulled the trigger on.
Yeah.
Earlier on, some of his early stuff that he did, his match with Liger was brilliant. So there's some really good stuff that he's done. I think they've sort of just chucked him into the tag circuit now, haven't they, with Fandango, and he kind of seems to be stuck there, but does some good stuff. But yeah, no, I'm hot for that. I like Santos. I'm really interested in the match for Stand and Deliver as well. So I think him and Jordan Devlin, I think they're going to put on a good match. And obviously they're suggesting it looks like it's going to be a ladder match now. Love a good ladder match, mate.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good. And obviously Santos Escobar picking up a win on Tyler Breeze kind of makes you think, how's this match going to go Stand and Deliver?
yeah,
But
I
we'll
think-
just have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
I think it's good. You'd say you took a bit of a beating when with Karrion Cross.
Yeah.
They've got to come back and put a couple of wins on his on his belt to make it interesting. Going to be interesting to see what they do with him and Devlin. I think there's the potential there for possibly even a show stealer. One that could even be a show
Yeah.
stealer. That match.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Next one, this is a personal, interesting one for me. Roderick Strong versus Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes.
And the thing with the Undisputed Era armband that was thrown in to distract Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that? I feel this was very interesting.
Obviously we're both a little unhappy about the whole Undisputed Era split. You are more so than me, I know. But I like little things like that. I like little they like little nuggets of storytelling.
Yeah.
Again, it's that throwing in the
definitely.
armband is a good little way of doing it. A nice little distraction. Roderick Strong's the interesting one as well, because he's the one that they kind of went after, wasn't he? Because originally it was Fish, O'Reilly, and Cole, and then Roderick Strong seemed to be the fourth man that they were trying to add in, trying to persuade him to come in, and then eventually he came in, kind of thing. So I think it looks good for his character because it shows that there's an emotional connection, there's a heart on his sleeve kind of moment to that as well. So but I like the little storytelling things like that. I like little moments where you sort of do something like that and it kind of stops them for a moment and then they get the pin or whatever. And it's like, to me it's good storytelling. I'm happy with it. I like a good story. I love watching the wrestling action, but if you've got a good story that goes with it as well, then you've got a good formula going on. So yeah, I'm hot for that. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a good bit of storytelling. Obviously, it's nice to see Cameron Grimes get a couple of extra wins on this sheet as well.
Loving Cameron Grimes at the moment, by the way. Oh, some of his work is absolutely brilliant. Loving the character as well. The whole thing, the whole making money, and absolutely great. I can't praise it. At the moment, he is one of my absolute favourites on NXT, and I can see there's so much potential in him as well. Really hoping that they were going to put him in for a title at some point. I think the North American title would look great. Bit of gold, bit of money. You can't mess with that. So loving Cameron Grimes at the moment. Brilliant job.
Yeah, I think it was a good bit of storytelling. Obviously, really like Roderick Strong as well. We'll just have to see what happens with this whole Undisputed Era. If they do a bit more of it.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. Next one we've got is obviously the Ways, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defeating Kaden Carter and Katie Catanzaro. Obviously, they've got their tag match at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about this one?
I think it's a good move. It's a good move. I'm happy with it. I'm good for it. It's they need to get a couple of wins under their belt to show that they're legitimate contenders. I think that's going to be a good match for Stand and Deliver. I really like the way at the moment.
Yeah,
I think they're doing some really good stuff. I think again it's another good little faction they got going on there. 4 good superstars in there as well. So I'm really interested in that. I do also like Katie Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. I think they've got potential in there as well. They're doing some good stuff at the moment. So Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So, like we say again, it's another one that's sort of leading up to that to the pay-per-view. Be interesting to see what goes on there.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like I say, I always like the build-up matches before a pay-per-view, like where you really delve deep into seeing if they've just picked up a win here. Does that change the route to Stand and Deliver now, or?
It's trying to create that dynamic to make it look like it's a legitimate. That they're legitimate contenders.
And it's making them look good. Like you say, making them look good going into Stand and Deliver as well.
Yeah. You don't want to go into the pay-per-view with losses.
Yeah.
You want to make it look like you're going to be a legitimate contenders. I do like the team of Moon and Shotzi Blackheart though. So I think they're really, really good. So
yeah, I think.
So I think it's just adding that little bit of that little sprinkling of spice to it, just to say, okay, these two could be legitimate.
Yeah.
Could have a legitimate chance. So
so we're both hot on this one. Obviously, interesting to see what happens at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Should be a good match. Next one, I know you know a little bit more knowledge on this one than I do. Taya Shah.
Okay, yeah.
How are we feeling about this? I know we haven't seen a lot, but
okay, I'm liking it. I'm liking the whole the whole thing that they've done where they've changed Xia Li's character around, brought in Taya Shah. I'm really happy with it. I thought Xia Li was kind of, when they brought her in, it was kind of like, okay, she's just another worker. She had some interesting stuff on there, but I couldn't warm to the character. There was nothing there that was really making me have any interest in her. She's been off, she's come back. We've got this whole thing going on now. A little bit mysterious, a little bit spooky. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I like things that can sort of bend the realms of fantasy and reality a little bit. There's nothing wrong with having that little bit of a muddy bit in the middle where you've got that sort of blur between the two. So I like that. I'm happy with it, and I'd be interested to see where that goes.
I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I'm into a lot of the darker stuff. Obviously, big fan of the Fiend and characters like that. And for me, this Taya Shah stuff has a very Lucha Underground feel to it.
It does, that's a good comparison.
Bit of a darker, edgier sort of.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that was what I liked about Lucha Underground. Was the fact that it had that darkness, that little bit of an edge to it, that little bit of a blur between fantasy and reality, and something like that really does. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm really liking this. I'm interested to see where they go with this going forward.
I think there's some great potential.
And I'm a big fan of when they take characters out and rejuvenate them into different. Especially when you've got people like Xia Li, where you see, maybe this character isn't working, let's take her out, try something else. I like it when they do stuff like that.
I do. I think sometimes you see people come in and you think, that's just not working. Yeah. Something's not quite right. Something doesn't quite click. And so you take them out, we try a little bit of rebranding, a little bit of repackaging and see where it goes. I think this has been an interesting time to do it as well at the moment. While they haven't had audiences there, I think that the what they're calling the performance center era has been a good opportunity for people to look at their character and look at their mic work and things like that, and sort of think, okay, I can do the stuff in the ring, but what do I need to do to get my character across? And I think some people have taken the ball and run with it and have done really, really well out of it. I think others should really could have really picked up their game and done better with it. But I think that's a good one on there. Cameron Grimes is another prime example on there as well. He went off for a little bit, come back. He's now got the whole money gimmick going on, which is brilliant. Again, it's working on your character, and I think sometimes people need to realise that when they've got that opportunity, you've got to go away and have a little look at it and think, okay, why am I not quite getting over? Is my character not right? I can do everything in the ring, which is great, but why is my character not coming across? And sometimes you just need that little bit of a repackage, that little bit of thought process to get it all in there.
Yeah, definitely. So we're both hot for this one, and interesting to see where they take it going forward. Last one we have for NXT, Raquel Gonzalez attacking Io Shirai. Yeah. Obviously ahead of their match at Stand and Deliver.
Great.
How are we feeling about this?
Great stuff. Yeah, great stuff. So Raquel Gonzalez, I'll be honest, wasn't a big fan of hers when she first came in. I've seen her working at it. I've seen her developing. She's doing some really, really good stuff at the moment. She's got that presence about her. She's got that dominant look about her. Yeah, she's got the height. She's got the power in her. She's got that muscle in her. she stands out because she looks a little different from the rest of the pack at the moment on NXT, and I like stuff like that. Backstage attacks, why not? Yeah, bring the storytelling again. Love that storytelling. So it's bringing in that storytelling, putting Io Shirai through a wall, brilliant, because it gives it that kind of, oh, this is it. She's a legitimate threat now. Io Shirai's had the title for quite a while now, and every time she goes to defend it now, you've got to think, is this a time when her reign's going to end? Are they going to look to take it off of her? Raquel Gonzalez now, to me, looks like a legitimate contender. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said, nah, she's not going to lose. She's not going to lose it. But now you look at Raquel Gonzalez, and I think, maybe she's going to do it. Maybe they will. Maybe they will give her the title and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this.
Yeah,
really
I'm pleased with this as well. I'm a big fan of when they do little backstage attacks. Like you say, it's always good to see a good backstage attack. And I think, like you say, Io Shirai's had the belt for quite a while now, so I'm a big fan of Io Shirai. Like I said, I really think Raquel Gonzalez is another typical example of someone who's taken advantage of developing their character. At the start, when she first came in, I was a bit like, I think we need to see a bit more from her before you can really get a good taste of what she's about. But I think she's really...
I think when she first came in, I had that big tall woman. She's going to be really generic. They're just going to make her look like a big tall woman who can do a few heavy hitting moves, and that's going to be about it. But they've worked with it and they've developed with it. And I think putting her with Dakota Kai has really helped to do that. So because I've also got to be honest, when Dakota Kai first started, wasn't a fan of Dakota Kai at all. Really didn't enjoy it. I used to have time. I used to skip past her matches. I wasn't a fan of hers. They took her off. They brought her back with her heel persona after the War Games when she when she went on the attack against her team, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now I really like Dakota Kai. I think she's doing some great stuff. So sometimes that's what it needs. You take somebody away, you repackage it, you have a little thought process, maybe get them to change sides for a bit, go from face to heel, vice versa, whatever. But it works. So, but yeah, I'm really interested in this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be really good, and obviously Stand and Deliver should be a great show. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Okay, next we have Smackdown. A couple of interesting points that happened on Smackdown. Obviously, last night we had Apollo Crews wanting to battle Big E in a Nigerian drum fight.
Yeah,
it should be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, not sure what a Nigerian drum fight is going to be. From what he said, it kind of sounds like it's pretty much going to be just a beatdown with no disqualifications. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty much an anything goes kind of match. Be interesting. I'm liking the stuff that they're doing with Apollo. I like the fact that Big E's out on his own now as well, and doing his thing. This has got a little bit more interesting for me. I was like interested to see the match, but not really sort of digging it kind of thing. I was like one of those ones that was going to be on the card that I could just go, yeah, okay, it's on the card. But now I'm kind of a little bit more interested in it. So, and I think sometimes that's what they need, is just that little bit of something just to spice it up a little bit. And to me, that match just got a little bit spicier. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested for this as well. I think I always like it when you have those matches where you think, oh, what's this about? No, it's not your typical no DQ or whatever. It's a match where you kind of think, oh, this really has made this match interesting though. I'm interested to see what this is all about. I think it'd be really good.
I think this has got potential. I think sometimes it's interesting when they change the style of the match a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting.
Definitely.
As long as it's not another Punjabi prison match. That was awful. That was not a good idea at all. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with this. So good luck to them.
Okay, next one we have another backstage counter strike. It was Sami Zayn attacking Kevin Owens, obviously ahead of their match at WrestleMania. How are we feeling about that?
I'm liking the fact that honestly that the roles are reversed, because this is usually Kevin Owens' forte is normally to do the backstage attacks. So interesting to see that the roles are reversed on this. Loving Sami Zayn's work at the moment. I think he's doing some great stuff. Be great to see the two of them in the ring together at WrestleMania, having a proper clash on there. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, again, a little bit more storytelling.
Yeah, definitely.
Adding that little bit of spice, just season it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, like you say, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, one of the few non-title matches they have at WrestleMania, obviously. So spicing it up a little bit, making it a bit more interesting.
But good. A good match to put on the card. It's an interesting match to put on the card.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm hot for that one. I'm interested to see what happens again at WrestleMania. Next one we have Logan Paul coming to WrestleMania. I'm not happy about this one, to be honest. I think it's kind of homing in on that point you made about Bad Bunny, about WrestleMania being a bit of a celebrity fest, a bit.
Too many celebrities going on at these things now. I understand why they're doing it, because they want to go mainstream. They want people outside of wrestling to be interested and to actually watch the product. But to me, do we need another celebrity there?
No, we don't.
No. We've got enough as it is. So no.
Yeah, not happy about this one. And
Big poop on that one.
swiftly moving on.
Yes, please.
Just a little one I've thrown in, thought was a bit interesting. Obviously, Rollins and Cesaro had that heated moment in the ring before their clash at WrestleMania. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah. This is a spicy meatball. This one.
Yeah.
I'm into this match. I'm really into this match at WrestleMania. Again, it's not for a title, but
it's going to be great.
Two great athletes in there. So I think you're going to see a stunning performance out of these two. So Rollins, a great storyteller. Really, really good at the story. His character, lovely. I love his character work. Cesaro, well, I love Cesaro to bits. He's a great performer. So very underrated. I think this is going to be a good one. So I'm really happy with this. Love a little bit of storytelling again before on Smackdown before the big events. So yeah, I'm happy with this. Well done, guys.
Yeah, that was great. I'm obviously interested to see what happens in a match. Two great athletes is going to be great. So that was just a couple of points that we picked out from Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. Just a couple of general things that happened in the wrestling world this week. We've had Chris Jericho doing a Broken Skull session with Stone Cold. I know this has been a big talking point.
I love this. I absolutely love this. So I love Jericho. Jericho is brilliant. So Jericho and Austin sitting down and having a conversation on the Broken Skull sessions. Oh, please sign me up for that. You want my money? Here's my money. Take it. I am well happy about this. So the internet seemed to be absolutely all over this there. They're all like, I can't believe this. WWE going to put stop to this. Vince doesn't like this. Vince doesn't like that. A lot of the other stuff that I've read suggests that Vince McMahon and Triple H have both turned around and said they're happy with it. Like Austin pretty much calls his shots when it comes to the Broken Skull sessions. If he wants somebody on, they'll do it. And to be honest, Jericho's got a great background with the WWE. I mean, he's over on AEW at the moment, but he's still got friends and he's still got people that he knows that are going to be still working for the big brand, and he's going to want to do stuff with them. And I was reading on there that they were saying that Jericho contacted Austin after the Undertaker Broken Skull session and said what a great show it was, and Austin sent him back a couple of messages, and then they started talking to each other, and he said, "Okay, do you want to come on over and do a show?" And that's brilliant. I mean, I'm well happy for this. I cannot wait to hear this. I'm really looking forward to this. So big thumbs up for me on this one. Yeah, I am hot for this.
I'm hot for this one as well. I mean, like you said, it's been a big talking point this week. Very mixed opinions from wrestling fans, isn't it, about this? Some people love it, some people not liking it so much.
Because it's WWE and AEW, and people seem to think that the two can't mix. It's like oil and water, and there's like, but it doesn't have to be. There are people that know each other from each company that are going to want to be able to still do stuff together. And why shouldn't they? So why not? It's like that. Not everything has to be a battle of one versus the other. People should be able to get together and do stuff like this. And this is a great example. So people should be able to do it. So get out there and do it.
Yeah. So big hop from both of us here.
Please.
Next one we have the Hall of Fame is said to have already been filmed, and it's said to have been a lot shorter this year.
Yeah, I've heard that the speeches have all been cut down. They've been given less time on their speeches this year. I think part of that, I would imagine, is probably due to the fact that they're trying to do last year's and this year's all in one go. There's also suggestions that quite a few people that were being inducted weren't able to make it, so a lot of it's going to be on camera links and things like that. So I'm a big fan of the Hall of Fame. I've been to quite a few WrestleManias and been to the Hall of Fame's induction ceremonies, and I quite like the speeches. I quite like to listen to the guys talking about their careers, thanking everybody that they've worked with, things like that. I quite like that. Some of the speeches, yes, they do go on a little bit long, so cutting them down a little bit, I can understand that, but I hope that they've given the guys an opportunity to sort of get out and thank everybody and give them the opportunity to tell their story. So I'm kind of, but it should still be a good watch. There's some great people going into the Hall of Fame this year and from last year as well. So I think this should be a good one to sit and watch. But I like it. I like the nostalgia factor. I like the whole ceremony. Shame that they're not going to have the crowds there for it again this year, but we'll see how it turns out when they show it. So, but I'm hoping it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, again, I'm a big fan of the Hall of Fame as well, and I actually am not disliking the fact that the speech is a bit shorter, because, like you say, some of them can go on a little bit and it makes it a bit sort of start to lose attention. But I think it will be good. Like, say, some great people going in.
Yeah, some really good ones.
So it should be really good. Looking forward to that. And the last point we're going to cover is something that you've actually said. So I'm going to pass the torch over to you.
Okay.
Regarding the 3 guys that competed at WrestleMania for the Universal title.
Yes, yeah. So they picked this up on the internet the other day, which was something that I hadn't actually realised. Is that obviously you've got Edge, you've got Daniel Bryan, and you've got Roman Reigns, which on its own looks like a great match as it is. So the thing is that somebody pointed out on the internet was the fact that those 3 guys potentially could have their careers could have been over before this match came up. You've got Roman Reigns with the leukemia. The leukemia could have seen his career come to an end. You've had Daniel Bryan with his concussions, which could potentially have seen his career come to an end. I mean, he was off for a while, then he came back. And you've had Edge with the well documented neck injuries. He's been off for a long time, and then he's come back. I think it adds that little bit of extra something to that match. The fact that you've got 3 guys there whose careers could potentially be over. If you'd have asked a couple of years ago that you would see that match, and you'd have turned around and go, "That isn't happening. That isn't happening. Those guys aren't going to be able to have that match." And now they're going to have that match. So it just adds that little bit of extra something to it. That little bit of something that kind of just gets you in the heart. So and fair play to all 3 of them. I think fantastic to come through. The challenges that they've had to come through can't have been easy for any one of them to have come back through all that. So if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off right now. Hats off to all 3 of them. Big respect, big kudos. Really looking forward to the match. I'm really hoping that these guys make it a good one. I could see this being a really, really, really good match. So well done, guys.
I mean, like you say, it's always good when they add that little bit extra to it. And it's not something you pick up on, is it? Normally,
no. But it's that little bit of reality that phases into wrestling as well, which is
And it's brilliant. And like I say, big respect for all 3 of them. They've done a fantastic job. And it should be a really good match at WrestleMania, hopefully. And I'm interested to see what
One
happens.
thing I am going to add in, which I'm going to ask you about, which is another thing that's been going up on the internet. Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil hosting WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on that?
If I'm honest, I am not feeling this, to be honest with you. No, I'm not because I dislike either of them. I just think I'm not a fan of when they do these whole bringing people back, like Hogan, and because they did it at WrestleMania 30, didn't they? Where he hosted it, and that was okay. But not a huge fan of Titus O'Neil anyway. And as a 2, they don't really go together.
It's an unusual combination. I think a lot of people have got onto the internet about it because of the Hulk Hogan's past comments. Obviously, we've had those little bits of sort of racial and prejudice. So it's an interesting combination. The fact they've put the 2 together. I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that it's in Tampa Bay, and that's where the 2 of them are from. So, but it's just been kind of interesting the way that the internet has really sort of blown up about it, and people are like, I can't believe that they've put these 2 guys together. So, I've got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of having WrestleMania hosts. I don't really see what the point of it is, unless they're actually going to do something. I think they have had Alexa Bliss before, and they didn't really do anything. They had the New Day, and the only thing, and the only thing that the New Day did really was bring out the Hardy Boys. I mean, that was a clever little bit because it made it look like for a moment that the New Day were going to join that match, and then they brought the Hardy Boys out. So I mean, that one was all right. I can kind of let that one slide. The Gronk, what did he do other than win the 24/7 title? But yeah, I'm not. I don't really see the point in WrestleMania hosts, other than the fact again it's just to put another name on the card. So yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. But we'll see how it goes. We hope they have a good time and sort of make a good job of it.
Yeah.
One more other one I was going to add to you as well, which has just come into my mind, which I was going to say to you. Rumours are speculating that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal is going to be on the Smackdown episode before WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm a big fan of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Like you said, I like a good Battle Royal, like we were saying earlier. I think it's a great tribute to Andre the Giant as well. Obviously, a very famous wrestler.
Known for winning his battle royals. So,
had some great people win it over the years, like Cesaro, Mojo Rawley,
Big Show.
Big Show. Yeah. The fact they're doing it on SmackDown doesn't bother me that much. What I like is the fact that they've not scrapped it completely, because there's not room on the WrestleMania card. They've done something with it, so I'm happy with that. Would I have liked to have seen it at WrestleMania? Yes, but glad that they haven't scrapped it completely.
I agree with you on that. I'm kind of. I think I think when they first brought it in, it was a great idea, and they made a big thing of it, and it all went ahead and it all went good. And then over the last couple of years, they seem to have knocked it right down to either like the opening match or even the pre-show. So it's kind of almost like it's kind of been forgotten about anyway, which I'm a little bit sad about, to be honest, because I like a good battle royal, but also I think that it's one of those matches that kind of breaks the card up a little bit. There's a lot of one-on-ones and tag matches, and sometimes it's just nice to see a different match in there. Also, I think it's a good opportunity to get all your people out and into the ring and get them on TV for WrestleMania as well. So I think that's a good opportunity as well. The one little thing that does niggle me about the Battle Royal is that there's not really a big prize at the end of it. Nothing. You don't really get anything out of it. Like, you get your name on the trophy or whatever. That's fine. Why not? But I'd like to see. I don't necessarily want it to mean that you win the Battle Royal and you get a title shot. What I would like to see is maybe something like the winner of the Battle Royal gets the main event match on the next night's Raw, because you've got all the excitement and the build up for WrestleMania, but the fans love the Raw the night after. I mean, I've been to some of them, and some of them, wow, they are crazy nights, absolutely crazy. And always the fun thing with the Raw after WrestleMania is that you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to turn up. So maybe if they did something like the winner of the Battle Royal gets the main event match, and then it's their opportunity for them to push stars. It's their opportunity to push somebody forward. They could turn around and say, this is the guy, this is the next guy that you should be looking out for. This is the next person that we're looking to push. This is the potential. They did it before with the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank used to be a WrestleMania match. The Money in the Bank ladder match. And then they changed it now to its pay-per-view. I like the pay-per-view, I really do, and I think it works really, really well. But I think that the Battle Royal should be something where they're pushing future stars, and pushing future storylines and future rivalries. Those two guys that meet in the ring start clashing with each other, and they take each other out or whatever, and then it builds up another storyline going forward or whatever. So I think the Battle Royal is a great opportunity for them to use it. I'm a little disappointed that they're putting it onto SmackDown. But then probably I'd rather that than a pre-show, because I think there's probably a lot of people that don't watch the pre-show. But people will hopefully watch the SmackDown. So yeah, I'm kind of a little disappointed on that one. I'd like to see it on the main card, if I'm honest, for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would. So some great points covered here. Just a few from this week in wrestling. If we have missed any that you think have been interesting this week, let us know down below in the comments. It'd be really interesting to see if we missed anything out. And if you want to see more hot or cold sessions, let us know down below in the comment section and drop the thumbs up on the video. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you obviously to the chairman of the board for joining us again today, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys.